Welcome to Title Talk, a podcast for real estate investors where we cover tips, tricks, and trends in the industry.
This podcast is all about providing valuable insights to help you maximize your investment opportunities.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, Title Talk is the place to stay in the know and get inspired.
So grab your headphones, tune in, and let's talk title.
Yo!
Hello.
Hi, Dina.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you today?
I'm good. It's getting hot in Arizona.
What is the temperature today?
I think it was like 112 when I was driving over here, my friend. Yeah, it's about that time of year where things are heating up.
It's gross. Guys,
time to go on vacation.
It is. It is time to go on vacation. I wanna hold on, let me get to my comments. Yes, thank you, sir. Tell us what temperature it is in your town, wherever you're joining us from in the United States. Maybe you're not even in the United States. We've got listeners in India. We got listeners in Israel. We have listeners in South Africa. But if you are in the mainland United States, tell me what temperature it is. Thank you, Bobby.
Tell us where you're from.
Yeah, tell us where you're from. I just want to do a quick roll call. See where people's at. Ooh, Texas. Well,
Texas.
That seems to be a popular place today.
Yes, it is.
Washington State. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Prashanthi from California. Nice to meet you. Jorge's in Cali. What's up, Jorge? Jose's in Sacktown.
98 degrees.
Oh. It's 1,000 degrees in Texas right now. It says, Gigi May says, hello from South Jersey. What's up? April said it's hot AF in Austin. We got a lot of Texans with us today. Dang. Well, you guys are in for a treat because we have a very, very special guest who is coming to us from a Fidelity National Title office in Texas. Just so happens to be in McKinney, Texas.
Giddy up.
How long have you known Leanne for?
Well, this is our first time officially meeting.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So y'all don't have any like inside jokes or things that I'm going to need to be aware of
No,
today.
maybe we'll find some today.
Awesome. Well, what is it today? Thursday to everyone.
Title Talk Thursday.
It's Title Talk Thursday. Yes, I'm always happy to be around you, Dina.
I'm happy to be around you too, my friend.
The market is the same as the temperature. Hot. Even though we have, 6.5% interest rates, I can't keep houses in inventory. It is just bananas right now.
The dispo side is pretty simple.
It's like if you have a house, you have a buyer.
Yep.
Are you guys experiencing just an uptick in volume and files right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, things haven't slowed down. June is typically that month where people, we peak.
Yeah.
But we're just going to put it out in the universe that it's just going to continue.
I think we're really in for some interesting developments through the summer. I don't think we're going to have a big summer slowdown as we were hoping or anticipating happening. It's not going to happen. It's going to get busier and busier and busier. And I think the reality of people keeping their homes that have 2 to 4% mortgages is becoming a national phenomenon. Like I think that people are just holding onto their properties and they don't intend to sell them at all. And so that has just removed a lot of inventory I think it's what's propped up the real estate market. And I don't believe that that's going to change. Do you have any other indicators that you heard of that are creating this?
I mean, our sales price here, it just continues to be very stable. And we're talking it's almost doubled in the last 2 years,
right?
Depending on where you are. So we don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Well, another market that's a lot like that, and I think, if you're talking about hot markets where there's just a ton of opportunity, a ton of deals being done, just a plethora of buyers, Texas is, in my opinion, one of the most sought after states for investors, for people to move. It's crazy what's going on there.
Wild West.
It's the Wild West.
Did you know I lived there?
You did?
Yeah.
What part?
Dallas Fort Worth. I went to TCU.
Wow.
Yeah, Horned Frogs.
That's pretty great.
Fun fact: he just learned something new about me today, guys.
I did. I did not. I didn't think that you had gone to Texas for college. I would have said ASU. You seem like an ASU girl.
Well, I did end up going to ASU too. I was homesick, missed my mom. By the way, my mom's watching, so we
Hi,
can't.
Mama.
Yeah, let's not do anything.
So no cussing
crazy.
Today. Well, let's get to it because I'm really interested to talk to Leanne. I know she's probably got a ton of insights to share with us on what's been happening in the real estate market in Texas. So without further ado, actually, why don't you read her bio before we bring her on?
Yeah, so let's bring on Leanne Harden. She has been with Fidelity about 3.5 years. She got started in title and escrow by being a receptionist at a legal firm and basically worked her way up through the ranks. And she's been promoted through many different positions. She is a boy mom. She's got 2 sons and happily married. And I think she might be a Frenchie mama too.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Well, so let's bring her on.
Yeah.
Leanne Harden, nice to meet you.
Hello. How are y'all?
Incredible. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Good. I would like to say it is hot AF here.
What's the temperature right now where you're at?
You know, in this business, we don't get to go outside of the office much. So earlier, I just know it was extremely hot in the morning time. So I can only imagine what it is now.
Would you say that the real estate market is as hot as the temperature out there or on par?
It's hotter.
It's hotter. That's what I've been hearing too. It's
great. It's really good. It's doing well. We've seen a definite uptick in the business. The last few months have really taken off. It's been good. It's been really good.
Well, Leanne, I want to let people know who you are. We just gave you a little brief introduction there, but if you could, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into title and escrow, anything, interesting specifically that you'd like us to know. And then we can start hammering you with questions.
Yeah, sure. So I think I actually started in a very maybe non-traditional way. I was bartending back in my younger years. And I just thought I've got to do something else. I want to this is like one of those dead end jobs. I mean, it was fun and all that when you're young, but I was looking for something more. So I started looking through like monster.com and just looking at different avenues. And I went on some interviews, got job offers and turned them down. I wasn't a fit. And then I got an offer at this fee attorney office for a title company. And I was like, man, I always thought about being in real estate. Let's do it. And it was totally my thing. I mean, it was like a match made in heaven, I mean, it's an ever-changing business. Nothing's ever the same. I've been doing this for like 12 years now, and I think I learn something new every day. I mean, this is not a boring job by any means. I mean, you can't even put that in the boring category. What we do. So yeah, the rest was history. I just started as a receptionist, worked my way up, and I just can't imagine doing anything else unless I was just vacationing for a living or something.
Yeah,
well, we could see your passion in how you just described, your love for the business. So that is super, super fun. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in your market, Leanne.
Let's back all the way up to like when COVID happened. I mean, there was a couple weeks where it was a little scary. I mean, we thought, oh my gosh, what happened to the business? Contracts are canceling, people are losing their jobs, what's going on? And for us, I mean, that's our business, and I mean, title, so it was a little scary. And then it just shifts. I mean, people losing their jobs and they got to sell their house. I mean, so it was just, it went from there. And then the refi, and like 2021, maybe the refinances were just insane. The rates were amazing. It's kind of tapered off with the rates going up a little bit. But when you look at it in a whole, I mean, think about, I have like older agents that come in here and they're like, honey, these rates were like 18% when I bought my first house. So, I mean, rates are still good. I mean, they're not 2%, but I mean, they're still they're still good. And so now that it's summertime, I've had a lot of agents telling me that they have, they're seeing multiple offers again, and it's not just inventory sitting on the market. It's moving. So it's good. It's good in Texas.
Everything's good in Texas.
It is.
Right? Bigger too.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that is, I've got a
How's your
corporate,
team? Yeah.
my
How's your team
my
doing
teams
in
are killing
Texas?
it out there, and our franchises are doing really well out there as well. So, from my understanding, Texas is just one of those markets where if you watch the migration patterns in the United States, you're seeing so much migration into Texas. And then on top of that, the industry out there's just so many head offices that are moving to Texas. So there's so much job opportunity. The cost of living is incredibly low. You actually have space to live. I mean, if you look at properties in Texas, you have decent sized lots and decent sized homes, and it's it's like good old fashioned family values. And I think people, they look at Texas and it's almost like a romantic, hey, let's go back to the way it was a little bit, like you got these beautiful homes with all this character and not a lot of cookie cutter stuff like you've got in Phoenix.
Things are green.
You got a lot of greenery. You got Buc-ee's. I mean,
you got Billy Bob's.
Yes. And then enough barbecue to, feed me.
And we got the Dallas
That's
Cowboys.
a lot of barbecue.
And I'll give you a pass on the Cowboys. I knew
that was going to come. It's either love or hate.
Yeah, we get a pass on the Cardinals sometimes too.
Yeah, so. Yeah. The Cowboys aren't terrible, but they're also, we shouldn't talk.
They're America's team.
They are.
They have cute outfits.
They all have cute outfits. They all have cute outfits, and you can't say an outfit is cute when you're only staring at the bums, Dina.
Yes, I can.
So our audience is primarily investors, and that's focusing on wholesale, creative, and buy and hold. And I understand it's a completely different world when you're talking about investment, especially in the title and escrow world. So I'd like to open up with just wondering, are there any nuances or any specifics about doing wholesale deals in Texas or doing creative finance deals? I hear often that people have to do some creative deals differently using a land contracts versus other types of creative instruments. And so I'd love to pick your brain a little bit about the investment space there and what you're seeing in terms of file volume in the different wholesale, creative, and rental space.
Yeah. So first, I'd like to say I love my investors. I mean, they're through thick and thin. Market good, market bad, they're there. So, I work with some of your guys here in DFW and recently Austin, and I just want to say your team has it going on. They are great. I mean, you have your investors you love working with, and you have your ones that you're like, man, come on, get it together. But your guys, they got it going on. So anyway, there's a lot of, it could go, it could really.
Oh.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Oh, her internet cut off. Yeah.
Okay, well, she'll be back.
It's
that hot. Did they lose power?
Maybe it could have. Hey, if you're in Texas right now, did you lose power? Let us know if Texas just burnt down.
Like a heat blackout or something?
Heat blackout, rolling blackout. So I'm sure we'll get her back here.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for her, I completely agree with her. My team does have it going on, and it's very it's evident to me that right now, no, it's just her. So no, everything else is fine. Thank you guys for letting us know, and maybe just send her a text and see if she's going to be able to make it back, or if she needs some time to charge up. So if you are doing any wholesale deals or creative finance deals in Texas, I would love for you to leave me a note in the chat. Also, guys, something that's really interesting here is I'd love to have to share with you guys some data on the Texas market. And so if you're interested in learning about or seeing some data in the Texas market, we have Leanne back. Do me a favor and put a T in the chat. Put a T in the chat if you're interested in receiving some data on some of the Texas real estate markets. Hi, Leanne. We lost you.
Sorry. Technology. It's a love-hate relationship.
All good. All good. So you were just about to tell us about some of the investment files that you've been working on.
Yeah. So a lot of times I'll have investors come over and they will, they'll be like, hey, do I need to put and/or assigns on the contract? I think that's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of the, guys that I'm working with. And you don't have to in Texas. I mean, I don't know if the other states you have to, but no, it's not required. Contracts in Texas are assignable unless it specifically says in the contract that it's not. So
they're assumed, they're
Just like
assumed that they can be assigned.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that kind of happened, like where that came from, but they're assignable in Texas unless, I know in the commercial contract, there's a box that can be checked whether it's assignable or not. But 1 to 4s, land, they can be assigned without the seller's consent. So it's not necessary to put and/or assigns on there. Another thing I see is like assignment fees. There's a lot of, I guess, title companies or underwriters that don't want to do like blind HUDs, for instance. You just need to talk to your title company, tell them what you want and what you don't want, and can you do it? It's definitely doable. You just got to find the right title company, the right underwriter. I've seen them say that there's caps on assignment fees. What? Why would there be a cap on assignment fees?
Right. Aren't we? Isn't this America?
Yeah. Well, is there a cap on how much money you can make? No.
Not in America.
No. Yeah, no. So I've watched a few of your podcasts, and I think like honesty and communication, like when I have an investor come to me and they're like, hey, I'm super new in the business, help me. Like I'm 100% willing, like the honesty there, and versus, if you just come to me with a deal, we're rocking and rolling. I think you know what you're doing. I assume like I don't know that you're new unless you tell me, but it's a partnership. Like let's figure it out together.
Let's open that up, because I've got a lot of people that are getting started, but they're learning from ethical people, right? And so what we always do is we really want people to do good business, and that will translate into the types of relationships that they create. And so, of course, the reason why we would want them to work with you is because we have a phenomenal relationship with Fidelity. We absolutely know that you guys are the best in the industry when it comes to title and escrow, and would love to be able to send you guys a ton of files. So I don't know, we probably have 40 or 50 people looking for information on Texas in the chat.
Yeah, we see lots of T's.
Lots of T's in the chat. So here's what I'm going to do. If you wanted that information on Texas, here's how I'm going to get it to you. Okay. We're going to email Leanne, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to send you that file, and you can get it to
absolutely.
Okay. So if you want the data, if you want the quarterly data for how real estate's been affected in Texas, we'll send it to you, but you have to email and you have to do business with Leanne Hardin from Fidelity National Title, and her email address is in the chat. Bobby, if you would put it up on the screen, it's right there, leanne.hardin@fnf.com. We're going to send you a file, Leanne, and you can respond to anybody who wants to do business with you with that information. So guys, please don't waste your time. Do business with Leanne. Let her show you how incredible the title company is, and how much work they can do for you, and how many relationships they can open up for you. But it's a reciprocal thing, right? So let's bring business, and then let's create new business. That's the way that we do this. Cool. Awesome.
I love it. So for those of y'all that are doing business in Texas, who's doing agent outreach? I want to know.
Yes. Who's doing agent outreach? So Leanne, agent outreach is a lead generation methodology that I teach primarily, which is creating relationships with real estate agents for these distressed types of situations or distressed types of properties, so that I can become the cash solution for that agent. And what it does is it allows realtors to level up their playing field to the iBuyer, because let's just say, for instance, an agent's out on a listing appointment and the house is not financeable. It's in terrible condition and it needs a cash offer. Well, if this agent doesn't have a cash buyer in her pocket or his pocket that they can send the address to and get a cash offer from, that person or that potential client goes right to Open Door or OfferPad. And so I teach real estate agents to level themselves up to really provide their potential clients a whole range of selling solutions, and knowing that sometimes one out of every 10 will choose a convenience fast solution, just like many of us who trade our cars in instead of selling them ourselves on Craigslist. We forego a little bit of money for peace of mind and for speed and convenience. It's just how things go.
Makes sense.
It does. And so, I wanted to ask you, do you know if any of the folks that you work with are doing agent outreach, or what are the primary ways that people are finding their wholesale deals out there?
I see that from your team. But I think probably most of the investors I work with spend too much money on mailing flyers and marketing tactics that way, honestly.
Do you ever hear from them how much they pay? Like, what's the average cost per deal?
Too much.
It is. It's over $10,000 across the United States. And to think about that, like the average assignment fee in the United States is $15K. And so if the average assignment fee is $15K and the average cost per contract is $10K, that means that the average gross profit is $5,000. Now, if you've got to pay an acquisition rep who signed the deal up for you, if you have to pay a disposition rep who sold the deal for you, if you have to pay for your overhead like office space, all of that goes in. How much money can you possibly make? I mean, it could be a losing situation or scenario altogether. And that's why this is why I teach people how to find opportunities without spending a ton of money, especially in my new book that I've published at Bigger Pockets, biggerpockets.com/wholesale book. I've written the book on how to wholesale real estate. It just got published today, actually. That's why I'm
Wow, congrats.
And this is the book he got me, and he's going to sign it for me before I leave tonight.
What should I write to Dina, guys? If I want to crowdsource what dedication I'm going to give to Dina in here. So if you have an idea for what I should say to Dina in the book, write it in the chat.
That could get a little hairy.
We'll see. We'll see how professional my audience is. So
for those of you guys that are doing agent outreach in either Texas or Arizona, let us know in the chat, because we also have data around that to help you with.
Oh, phenomenal. And great. So we'll help you guys out with that data as well. Wow, we're just giving stuff away all day today.
I mean, we just got started.
We did. So let's keep it going. Is there anything in title and escrow that you just absolutely adore? Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, I can't wait to work on that title report. Like what? Oh, I'm just so excited to write this lender's policy. No, what kind of things like get you up and super excited about your job?
I mean, I am a people person. So I think just this is not a cookie cutter business. I mean, every single closing, every single seller, I mean, it's so diversified. I just like talking to different people from different walks of life. And, I'll go into a closing. Mandy, my assistant, who I wish could be on here with you guys. I'll hear her having a full blown conversation, like talking about marriage, children in the other room. And, she's the same way I am. We just like talking to people and getting to know them and where they're from and their story, so I think that's probably the best part of it for me.
Like watching somebody on their journey too.
Yeah. My son has this perception that I sit at a desk all day and just type on the computer, but closings, and it's so much more than that. I am constantly interacting and communicating with people. So that's probably the favorite part, my favorite part of it.
I agree. I think the people that you get to meet and hang out with and talk to, and you learn so much about different folks, just, how they earn money, how they live, where they vacation, what they like, what they eat for lunch. I know it's like, it's minor details sometimes, but really just getting to know little details about people. It's interesting to me, like, Leanne, what did you have for lunch today?
Some Chick-fil-A.
I love
Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A. Do you have Chick-fil-A sauce in your fridge at home?
Oh, you know what? I just had a Chick-fil-A sauce on my desk actually, but I do have sauce in my refrigerator at home.
Love it. Now we can be friends, by the way. You and I can be friends. So we're gonna keep it going there because I'd love to find out from you a little bit about the things that drive you crazy.
Yeah. So
Huh.
what turns you off, girl?
Lack of communication.
Mm.
There's nothing worse than getting a deal and then crickets. I mean, or it coming over and no seller information. Like, how am I think there's this perception that we as the title company have this crystal ball in our office that we can just go to and get anything we need to know, but it's not true. It's not true. So I think just communication, lack of communication, and there's nothing worse than like getting a contract over and there being no information on the contract or in the email, like how to even contact these people. It seems like a no-brainer, but it's surprise. I mean, and you'd be surprised how many people send over deals with no contact information.
Well, what's the craziest thing you've ever done to track a seller down?
Man, you know, I truly wish Mandy was here. She is my investigator. I'm talking, we have ancestry.com accounts. We have created publicdata.com accounts. We'll go to some of our attorney friends and ask them to use their
TLO?
Yes. Man, we go Facebook stalking. I've Facebook stalked just to get like HOA information. These small HOAs, they are just ridiculous. So, yeah, we've done some crazy stuff. I've done a few drive-bys.
Ooh.
Yeah,
She brings up
not
a
the
really good point,
safest
though.
route, but I've done it.
She said that like I've done some drive-bys.
I've done some drive-bys. Just see if someone was still really there.
I feel like Leanne drives a big truck. What do you think?
Honestly,
Yeah.
my guess is she drives a souped-up BMW X6.
Are we both totally wrong?
I drive a Yukon Denali
I mean, it's
because it can tow.
In between.
It's in between.
Because it can tow.
What do you tow?
Well,
Well,
right?
we like to do a lot of outdoor activities. So we have side-by-sides and four-wheelers, and we have a deer lease, and we like to go mudding. And
Wait,
so
deer lease.
Hold on, no, what's mudding?
it's like an ATV park. So there's that's so funny. You guys don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
So you take there's like thousands of people, and you take your ATVs, and it's you just drink a lot of beer and have a
What
good
do you
time.
wear to mudding?
American
Waiters,
flag.
not this shirt.
Wait, not that shirt.
No,
she's
not
wearing,
this shirt.
she's wearing mud clothes. You wear
Yeah.
mud clothes.
Could I wear-
Waiters, y'all know what waiters are? It's not gonna work.
Waiters are like a rubber pants, right?
You're gonna get sunk and stuck.
Sunken stuff. Don't wear these.
Are waiters
All
rubber
right.
pants?
They have rubber boots attached to them.
So it's a rubber outfit.
It's a rubber outfit. Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
A waterproof
Things
rubber
I do not
outfit.
have in my wardrobe.
Are you a hunter?
I've learned to become a hunter. My husband likes to hunt. I like to sit in the deer lease and drink.
Nice.
What's a deer lease?
It is a lot of land that we lease that we go hunt on, that he spends way too much money on feeding the deer so we can kill them. Makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like it's start to finish, right? You raise them, you feed them, you send them off to college, and then you take their life.
Yeah. It's a good time out there. There's no cell phone service. The kids have a great time. It's a good disconnect.
Awesome.
Okay, so she brought up a good point. No seller contact information. So I got one for you, recent. No seller contact information. Refused to give us seller contact information. They won't put us in touch with the sellers. The contract has no purchase price, no earnest money, and they're asking us to close.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
You mean you should be ready to close by now?
Yeah.
And so then what do you do?
I mean, that particular one, we tried to reach the seller directly and tried to have them put us in touch with the seller so we can verify that they're actually trying to sell their house. Because in this particular side, there was a very large upside based on what the seller owed and what was going to be the net proceeds to the investor buyer. And ultimately, we had to decline the transaction.
Dang.
Yeah, because it's just not insurable if we can't verify that the seller is actually agreeing to sell their house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, all kinds of craziness. Last week we had chatted about, some interesting shenanigans that have been happening in some of the title, in some of the title offices with just the way the market's going right now. And so it doesn't surprise me that you guys would reject that deal, especially considering you can't get a hold of the seller. I mean, there's people. I had Tabitha, one of my Astro Flipping community members out in Las Vegas. She was in a deal just recently, and a real estate agent emailed her and said, "I'm so sorry, we're going to have to cancel this contract." Unfortunately, what happened is the husband of the man who you signed, who did the deal with you, he actually hired an impersonator for his wife to come in and sign the contract. Unfortunately, wow. She's a missing person, and so he just confessed to having hired an impersonator, and so it's not even a valid contract. So there's nothing we can do. And she's just like, "What do you do in that instance?" And I'm like, "Well, I think you should need to change your phone number." That's what I think you need to do.
Never boring. Something new every time.
Something boring every time. It's real estate, right? Like, here's the thing. Crazy and non-crazy people have to live in a home.
We all got to live somewhere.
We all got to live somewhere, right? So, well, she asked you what turned you off. I'm interested in, what about a client makes you tick? What turns you on with a client? What kind of things do you like about the way that they operate? How does somebody become your favorite client?
I think it goes back to the honesty, like just being real, and you're a human, I'm a human. I feel like so many investors and agents that I work with think they have to put on this like persona of stereotypical, I'm an agent, I'm an investor, this is how it's going to go, versus just being real and being who you are. I mean, I feel like that's the best way to connect with someone and, have a great transaction all around.
So just like honesty, transparency. If you're having trouble,
tell me, let me help you.
Let her help
maybe
you.
I've been through this, seen it. Teamwork.
I love that. I think it's just it's a symptom of our world today, and that everybody thinks they've got to be more than what they really are. And of course, social media has a lot to do with that. But in general, insecurities and just the fact that life is getting harder, and even though we have so much connectivity and so much information at us, it's just tough. You're being bombarded with too much information these days, right? And so it makes people anxious, and it just causes folks to act and do some.
You don't always have to have the answers. Sometimes it goes a long way just saying, "I don't know. Can we figure it out?"
Yeah, I always feel like you don't have to be the source. You just can be the source of the source, because
absolutely
somebody in your world probably does know the answer if you just ask the right questions and ask the right people.
Exactly.
So, Leanne, you cover all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area and all the way up through Austin, right? Or can you do any deal in Texas? Give us a lay of the land on that.
Any deal in Texas. During the refinance boom, I was even doing nationwide refinances. So no like purchase sale transactions, but refinances. But yes, we can do any county in the state of Texas.
Okay, awesome. Because we got a couple people in the chat that were asking about where and who and what do you cover? So that's fabulous. What about a ghost story? Do you have anything that like kept you up at night that was just like gave you the creeps on a file or with a relationship of some sort?
Well, I will say I dream about files. I dream about files probably
Dreams,
more
not
than
nightmares.
I mean, I've literally lost sleep over them. Like, I go to bed thinking about it, wake up thinking about it. I'm like texting Mandy in the middle of the night, like, "Hey, what do you think about?" I mean, just random. I mean, we're crazy. Us title folks are real crazy. But honestly, I think the best story, and it's not even mine, but it is a very close investor friend of mine, that it actually ended up being on. I think his story was on like 2020 or
Oh,
something. I
wow.
mean, it was a good deal. So it was before he worked with me, and we've been working together for several years. He bought this house, and this is a perfect example of why a title company should never allow a seller to fax in or email in their ID because they forgot it. So he found this deal, he contracted it, went through the whole process. He's already closed on it, and he is doing construction on the property. His people come in, and there's like this flower box type thing in the back that kind of just has a bunch of cement in it. And so they're like, "What do you want to do with this?" He's like, "Let's bust it up, get rid of it." Well, they start busting it up, and there's a crazy smell. Like, it is a terrible stench. And they found a body in there. And
Wait,
so
like
he's
in a
like,
pound of cement, like
in
in a
the
planter
cement in this
box?
like flower box. So of course they call the police. Long story short, the guy, it was like his lover that had actually closed on the house, killed him, put him in the flower box, cemented him in there, and took his ID, put his own picture on it, and then forgot his ID at closing and sent it into the title company, and they accepted it. So it was a claim on the title company.
Whoa.
Every time someone tells me they forgot their ID, I think of that story. I'm like, sorry, you're gonna have to go get it.
Oh, wait, so hold on a second. So they came in together and signed, right?
Well, the guy came in to sign. He came into the title company
He
and
came
signed.
into the title company and signed, but had forgotten his ID.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh my
Was it a
gosh,
fake
forgot my
guy? Was it
ID."
somebody else?
Do it.
Was it a fake guy? Was it somebody else who came in and signed?
It was his lover.
But how long had he been dead?
I'm not sure how long they determined how long he was dead for, but I know it had been a few months, not years, but just months.
Damn.
So then they closed on the house
No
and
one
then
had
they buried the
reported him
body in the
missing
new
yet.
house?
They what?
No, they buried the body in the house they left. I mean, they should have taken the
He
evidence with
buried him
them.
in the backyard in like this flower box of cement.
Dang.
I'm gonna send you the link. It's on, I think it's 2020. I should
Oh,
have.
I need to hear this
It's
story.
good. Of course, immediately the first time he ever told me this, Mandy and I both went and watched it. It's crazy. It was just in
Wow.
Arlington, Texas too.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Arlington area.
Yes, there's a lot of people are just
I'm
like,
glad I wasn't that title company.
gosh. I'm really glad he wasn't either. So
I mean,
Yeah.
to go through killing the person, burying them, putting them in concrete, and taking the ID and faxing it to the title company. I mean, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's people go through some links to links to. I mean,
Must have been a big fight. Must have been a bad fight.
I mean, it could have been.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fight over
Somebody made him mad.
Maybe over bad barbecue.
over bad barbecue.
Definitely bad barbecue.
Is there any such thing though?
Not in Texas.
Not in Texas, no. Well, now that we know your ghost story, I want to kind of get into the technicalities and some of the things that people need to look out for in title when they're doing, a deal in the Trek contract, or, maybe even just the standard rules of conveyance there in Texas. So are there any traps? Are there any things that people need to be aware of I know, Texas is one of those states that has an option period, meaning you can, it's almost like you put a certain amount of money down to buy due diligence time on a contract, right? And so for me, I think that's a very interesting and different thing that happens in Texas over other places. Anything else that you know of or that you can tell us that people need to be aware of when they're doing business in Texas?
The HOAs, they're a beast of their own. I have a lot of investors that will just send over like a TREC contract when the property is located in an HOA and just not even include the addendum. Well, it is in an HOA, so we do have to order a resale certificate. We do have to confirm the account status. It is, I think, the only entity, non-government entity in Texas that can foreclose on your property, and it's not even a government entity. So it's important for us to make sure that the account status is current. They always, or I shouldn't say always, almost always charge a transfer fee anytime the ownership has changed. So we need to make sure that they get their fee for that. So it's important to have that addendum, I think, with the TREC contract, whether you want to or not. If it's in an HOA, we need to have it because we're going to have to order a resale package.
That's very good.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Good information.
And how long does it take to get the HOA back? I mean, in Texas?
So I'd say the most common turn time we see is 10 business days. Some of them are faster, the smaller one, but I'd say 10 business days is the most common turnaround time.
So if you're doing a deal in Texas and there's an HOA, what would be the minimum amount of time that somebody should put on a contract for, closing? If that takes 10 days, you'd probably need 2 weeks or more to get a deal done, right?
Well, I think most of them have like an option for rush. Of course, there's a fee, but we can get it back in 1 or 2 days. They're just going to charge you a fee, so it can happen.
So you can still get a deal done in a week in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So our audience here is pretty broad, right? We've got people that are brand new. They've never done their first deal, but they've come into a great mentorship program and, they're part of the Astro community or, Keegley and many other different investor groups. And they've got good coaches and good support, but they haven't done their first deal. We've got other people that do a lot of deals. So any tips that you can share with us for our audience?
Yeah, I mean, you probably know, I know you're in a different state than us, but we have great business development. I mean, anytime I have investors or agents that come to me and they're just like, hey, I'm new in it. How can you help me even get started? We have amazing farming tools that our business development reps can help them with and set them up on and meet with them and show them how to use it. And just reach out and we'll get connected.
So all 50 of you who put T in the chat, that you guys are all doing deals in Texas. If you are not going to Leanne's office and talking to her marketing people and using their farming tools to find more business, and that's free, right? Like they don't.
Absolutely.
You guys are actually going to spend money to help people do business. That's
money
crazy.
and time. Money and time.
We have a great app that they can even like create little quick net sheets for the sellers. I mean, you go meet with someone and they're like, hey, well, what am I looking at? I mean, there's a little app and it'll email it and logo it and you can put your logo on it. I mean, it's great. It's free.
Yeah, our settlement closing app is great. And that's actually a nationwide tool, which we've never talked about on a podcast, but if you guys are interested in getting the closing app that Fidelity has, where you can just change counties and get an estimated breakdown of all the closing costs on any property across the country, you should email titletalk@fnf.com and we will get you set up with that. It won't have on there the investor rate. So they won't necessarily know if it's a company that will offer investor rates on either the title or the escrow side, but it'll still give you a breakdown of everything else.
Awesome.
And there's tons of marketing in there that's free too for social media and different ways, like you can do social posts and things like that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So again, guys, if you want the data on the current quarter's deal volume in Texas, you're going to want to email leanne.harden@fnf.com. You have to do business with her and she will share that data with you. She's also going to make an introduction to her marketing team so that you can start using their farming tools and generate more deals. But guys, remember the universe works on reciprocity. So don't be that person who just takes. You want to make sure that you're bringing value to Fidelity and bringing business to them as well. So make sure that we're scratching each other's backs. That's how it rolls, right? So
absolutely.
phenomenal. And then if you want information on the closing app that Dina talked about, you want to email titletalk@fnf.com. Incredible. I have to ask, Leanne, since you've been doing this for a little while and you've made some incredible friends that are investors, and I'm sure you've seen people do some things when you look at that and you're like, that was slick. Like that person knows how, like, you know, if you ever watch a crack shot, you know, you're like, man, that guy sure knows how to shoot a can. Tell me, I don't know. I thought
Shoot a can? I thought we were talking about shooting deer.
I was relating here because
shooting
she's
deer.
in Texas.
You shoot deer around here.
Things, and I thought she's just looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy? So yeah. Are there any tips that you can give us for investors? What's the slickest thing you've seen an investor be able to do that was legal, ethical, and cool?
You know, I mean, I hate to be like a broken record, but I think that it really goes back to like honesty. And you know, it's kind of how, I mean, going back to like the wholesaling business, you know, the signing part of it, a lot of investors will come to me and just be so scared that their client or that the seller knows that they have assigned the deal. So that's kind of, I mean, we could get all the way to the closing table and they could see that there's a different name on there and freak out and stop the transaction. But I think that honestly, the best thing, I mean, I don't care if you spin it like we had, and not to be that you're lying to them, but you know, I have multiple partners in this transaction and we may be assigning it to a different company. I mean, even just setting the foundation like that so that their expectations are set appropriately. Or if you have a wholesaling deal where you know that your whoever you're assigning it to is double closing it on the back end, funding, setting their expectations there. I mean, it may be the next day. It may, you know, it's amazing at how many sellers come to closing thinking they're going to walk away with a check at that moment. And that's just not how it's going to work. So, I mean, really just setting the expectations appropriately, like however you want to spin it, just setting the expectations appropriately, I think is key.
Well, contractually, I mean, that's probably the best place to start too, right?
Yeah.
So you do a great job in your contracts, setting the expectations. You want to share a tip there?
Sorry?
On your contract tip.
I mean, I've got lots of them, but I think, you know, first and foremost, especially when you're talking about an assignment, I'll always, I frame all of the people that I sell deals to as deal partners, right? So I'm just transferring this to one of my deal partners and they're going to take it down. Of course, as investors, we have money all over the place. And sometimes one entity has more funds than the other. And sometimes we bring in deal partners to help us complete our deals. And in this situation, that's exactly what we've done. And that's always helped.
Exactly.
In addition to that, you know, what I typically will explain to a seller, right, is that at the end of the day, we've agreed to a price, right? And so your HUD you might see some credits, you might see some fees, you might see some things. Oftentimes people will get some down payment money assistance or things that you'll see on the HUD, and it's not really necessary. It doesn't change your net amount, right? We've agreed that you're going to receive $110,000, whatever that is, and that's what you're going to get. If you see other items on the deal, it's not pertaining to you. It has more to do with my side of the transaction, and that's it. And they don't, beyond that, they don't really care. As long as they're getting what they're supposed to get and what you guys have agreed to, that does it.
Well, then you've been
piggybacking on that. That's exactly what I've started doing. Just not even doing combined HUDs for my investors, whether they're assigning it or not, just doing blind, you know, separate side HUDs, because a lot of the times their eyes will go to the other side and maybe they got a hard money loan and now they're concerned that the buyer got a loan, which means nothing to them.
Right.
You need to look at your bottom line, your numbers. That's what you agreed on. This side doesn't matter.
I 1,000% agree.
So what's the biggest assignment fee you've ever seen, Leanne?
I had one not too long ago that was $175,000.
Peanuts.
I was
Okay.
pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
If anybody in there has done an assignment fee over $175,000, drop a number in the chat for us.
Yeah, let us
And
know.
where are we going on vacation?
My biggest one is 276.
Nice.
That's my largest assignment. My biggest wholesale flip was over $1 million. But my biggest assignment fee was 276. And I was proud of that one. I'm like, that was a little over $250,000.
Yeah. What was the total purchase price on that one?
It was 4 acres of land in Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
So the total purchase price, I believe, was just over $1 million, 1.1, and I believe we assigned at 1,376.
I think you did pretty good on that one, my
good.
friend.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some quickie questions.
Okay.
Because we talk about title and we make title sexy.
I want to know, what is the last thing you Googled?
If I'm being honest, probably how to spell something.
You can get your phone. Go
spell.
get your phone, girl. Get your phone. It's okay.
Yeah, let's see it.
You know what? Let me look.
What was yours? Well, she's pulling it up. We can all participate in this fun game today.
The last thing I Googled is...
Mine is probably something silly.
The address to where my cruise ship is leaving on Saturday
Oh,
morning.
look at that.
Oh, where are you cruising?
We're going to the Bahamas.
Googled is, what's the world's most expensive calculator?
Why do you need one of those?
Probably one of those in high school that they made you buy.
That's pretty good. Dina Googled, what do I need? What's everything I need to know about Airbnb's new Barbie house in Malibu? Of course you did.
I think I want to have a vacation there.
I have a really nerdy friend who's getting married, and I wanted to see if I could buy him a $1,000 calculator.
Oh,
that is funny. That's kind of sweet.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
That's very
That's a thoughtful gift.
It is, and so I can get him a calculator. It's a Texas Instrument. It's $1,499.
You must be a good friend.
Yes,
man.
Friend. Yeah, $1,499 for a calculator.
Do you think he already has it?
I don't think so. Who does that? Who would buy this? It's crazy. Me. Yeah. I like him a lot, so we'll see what happens.
You might have to buy him a course on how to use it.
It comes with an instruction manual.
Oh, it does. All right.
Yeah.
I would definitely need that.
All right. Are you a reader, Leanne?
I do like to read.
Yeah. What are you reading these days?
I'm reading. So we have a Fidelity book club going on right now, which I slacked a little bit on the book club because it started during one of my vacations. So I had to back out a little bit. But Atomic Habits.
Oh, that's a great book. Yeah. That's the second Fidelity operation that we've talked to on Title Talk that has a Fidelity book club.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits is a phenomenal book.
Yes, it is.
Yes. It makes you really think about just your processes and how making simple changes can affect. I mean, it's been eye-opening for sure.
It'll change everything.
Are there any patterns that you recognized of yourself that you are deleting?
I am a procrastinator. I like to put the one thing I'm dreading the most on the back burner when I should really just be getting to it in the beginning so I can get it over with.
Have you ever read the book Eat the Frog?
I have not.
Well, you should.
Big Rocks.
I'll put it on the list.
Big Rocks.
Yep.
Talks about move the big rocks first.
So now that we know what you read, what's something ordinary that you haven't ever done? For example, Dina's never eaten a hamburger before.
Have you really never eaten a hamburger?
No, never changed a baby diaper either.
Really?
Yeah, I've changed adult diapers, not babies.
My gosh.
Interesting.
Fun facts.
Sheltered.
Man, I've never. I don't even know this one. Ask me if I've done something.
Have you ever changed a tire?
I have. My grandfather told me if you're going to drive a car, you need to know how to change a tire, and I had to do it once.
Wow. Have you ever given CPR?
No.
That's not a
Can't
really
stand it.
ordinary thing,
That's
though.
not an ordinary thing.
No. I've learned how to do it, but no, luckily I haven't.
Have you ever, guys, help us out in the
Yeah.
chat. Give us something
know.
ordinary that you wanna know if Leanne has ever done. Well, since while we're waiting for that, I want to know, what is the best or worst advice you've ever given or received?
I think when I transitioned from when my boss, who is now a realtor, and she just recently kind of became one to anyway, she was transitioning out, retiring, and I was becoming the branch manager, kind of taking over our office. One of the things she told me was, fake it till you make it. And that's probably the best advice anybody's. I can remember going into closings for the first time when I went from assistant to an escrow officer and just thinking, I mean, I'm talking anxiety through the roof, like thinking, how am I going to go face all these people and talk to them? And it's my favorite. It's my favorite part of my job now. I love going in there and talking to people and figuring out what, where, why, I mean, it's crazy how it went from complete, was my most feared thing, and now it's my favorite thing.
I've got some great questions for you here.
We love our audience, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for all being here, and give us a little love if you like.
Yeah,
being
hit
here.
the like button, guys. It helps the algorithm. I mean, we've got a good audience today, but we know that the more you like it, the more people will watch it through the week. So give us a little ticky boo there. But I'm gonna start off. Have you ever smoked some dank kush?
I don't even know what that means.
It's just some good weed.
I don't think so.
Yes, good answer. Good answer.
I don't know what dank kush is.
Yeah.
Is that a good
Gloria's
answer?
question.
I like Gloria's question. I think that's the best question, but I wanted to ask the first one anyways. Have you ever roped a calf?
No, I saw that one. I was laughing at that one.
Let's ask Gloria's. Go ahead.
Have you ever thought of being an investor?
No, but one of my investors that I work with swears I should come work for him and is trying daily to steal my assistant in a fun way. But no, I really haven't. I just love titles so much that it's my thing.
Well, if any of you guys have good deals that you think Leanne should consider buying, send them her way.
Yeah, I mean, my husband does. I've kind of turned him on to that side of the deal. I'm just like, title takes so much of my time that I wouldn't have time to like flip or wholesale houses on the side. So he kind of does that. Or if I have a deal that, is falling through and I'll send it to him, or so he kind of does that, but not me. I'm a title girl.
I like this one. The last one.
I like that one too. What do you love about Texas?
As much as I may get some backlash on this, I like the heat.
The humidity?
The heat.
Really?
The heat. Yes, I hate the cold. I'm trying to get to the beach, the hottest spot. Like I would take 150 degrees over cold any day. I know the comments are about to start.
Glenn, I love your question. That's so good. She is born and raised in Texas.
Can't you tell? I mean, I can tell you're born and raised in Texas.
Is it my accent?
You present like a Texas girl through and through.
Oh, okay. What does that exactly mean?
I mean, you just seem like you don't take shit. You know what you're doing. You're confident. Yeah.
You can change a tire. You can go mudding.
You can go mudding.
You can rope a deer.
Yeah, you can probably fire multiple types of firearms.
Yeah, definitely.
All the things.
How many guns do you have at your house?
More than I could count. Yeah, definitely more than I could count. Really my husband, should I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Have you ever ridden a mechanical bull?
I have. Oh, definitely. Yeah, Billy Bob's.
Yeah. Have you ever ridden a real
Billy
bull?
Bob's.
A real what?
A bull. A real bull.
Bull, no. Horse, yes. Bull, no.
That's great.
Not that brave.
Phenomenal. Leanne, you've been a lot of fun.
You have been really fun.
You're probably my favorite guest that we've had. Not to say that the ones that we have had aren't amazing, but you're super fun. So it's been
Well, thank
great,
you so much.
great
I
time.
am very grateful to have been on your show and talked to you guys. And like I said, I just love your team. They are phenomenal to work with. So they got it together. They know what they're doing. They don't have any of my turnoffs. So we communicate well. If there's something that's not working for us, that's the biggest thing. Just let's talk about it. So
I love it. Again, how should people get a hold of you?
email's the best way. Call, text. I think you have my number. If not, it's on our website. I'm always probably email. Honestly, sometimes my husband has to email me when he can't reach me on the phone. So, and I'm at the office.
So Leanne Harden at fnf.com. Remember, guys, she's going to have data on Texas, and you're going to want to see that. You want to understand, is it appreciating right now? I can give you a little hint. It is. But you want to know, you want to understand how you can read the market so that you know if you need to adjust your offers up so that you can be more competitive. And she's happy to give you that information. Remember, it's a reciprocal relationship. So you want to do business with Leanne at Fidelity National Title. She's an incredible person. I, as you have heard today, am using her personally. So I don't recommend people that I don't have a tremendous amount of belief in. So Leanne, thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for being amazing. And I hope that you get a tremendous amount of business from this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here, Leanne. And thank you everybody for watching. Share with a friend if you love this so they can learn too.
Thank you so much for tuning into Title Talk, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. In fact, the next time you're back on Title Talk, I won't be here.
He's leaving me for a month.
I am. I'm leaving.
And I'm so excited.
She's so excited because next week the title. Well,
I'm excited you're going on a vacation for a month with your family.
Yes.
Because when you come back, you're going to share all about it.
Yes, I'm going to come back much doughier than I am right now because I'm going to be in Italy and I'm going to be eating all the carbs.
Drinking good wine.
Maybe, but I'm definitely going to be
Italy
eating
right now.
Everybody's in Italy right now.
I know like 6 people that are there right now.
Well, tell them I'm coming and to leave me some spaghetti.
Make sure they don't run out of bread.
They'll have I want all the marinara sauce.
And happy 4th of July to everyone. We hope you do something fun and safe. But while Jamil's out,
Rahima, my sister, is going to be the co-host of Title Talk. So this is going to be a fun, fashion-filled adventure with Dina,
so
Rahima. You'll be doing it here, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
So the same location. It'll just be. You know what's really funny, guys? Yesterday, Natalie reminded me something about my sister. And when Taylor, my little girl, that's Nat's girl. But when I first met Taylor, she was 2 years old. And my sister had come to see Natalie. And so Taylor saw my sister in Natalie's kitchen. And she poked Natalie on the thing. And she said, Mom, come here. And then her mom went in with her into the room. She says, "Why is Jamil wearing a wig?"
That's funny.
That's really funny. If you know my sister, you'll understand why that's really hilarious because I'm literally just like the male version of her. So if you guys want to see Jamil in a wig and Dina in 2 weeks, tune in to Title Talk. It's going to be a phenomenal show.
Your sister is also one of the most stylish women that I've ever met.
She is.
And, for those of you guys who don't know Rahima, she is their general contractor and she runs all the construction projects, all the crews. She is a fierce female leader and she is a fabulous person. And the first time we have her on, guess what we're going to talk about?
Shoes.
Shoes, of course. That's every time. Pretty sure that's going to be a topic. But what I'm also excited about is we're going to talk about home warranty.
Oh, nice.
And when investors should consider it and when they should avoid it.
I love that.
Totally something related to title and something related to the construction side and something that I think is totally not talked about.
I'm excited to watch that from Italy while I'm eating spaghetti. Leanne, one last thing. People are asking, where are you physically located? Where's your office?
We are in McKinney, Texas.
McKinney, Texas, guys. Again,
we have in our group, we have several other locations, but my particular office is in McKinney.
And she can handle any of your files all over the state of Texas, guys. So don't feel like if, you're doing a deal in Houston or Austin that you can't lean into using Leanne as your resource.
Absolutely. And we have a great nationwide notary service for, any time that we don't have one local. So that's never an issue.
Wonderful. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you back in a couple of weeks.